So we're going to do one step at a time. What does that mean? Let's look at that loop. That means you're going to start at minus 12. You're going to go loop through one time. When you count around, you're going to add 1 to minus 12, which gives you minus 11. You're going to go through. Then you're going to add 1 to minus 11, means your counter now is at minus 10. Now, that's all and good, but you're going to say, well, how's my star going to move? It doesn't know what the counter's doing. Well, it does if I take this guy out, right? And then I go to the variables and I say, there's the I, and I'm going to put it in here so that this I amount changes. The X will change from minus 12 at one step at a time, going all the way up to 24. And I think you can see if you go from minus 12 to 0, that's 12 steps. And then if you go from 0 to 24, well, that's 24 more steps. So that means 36s are going to be the number of loops. Let's see now. So now the center of the star will start moving with this counter. So now you're going to see a bunch of them, and we'll slow it down a little bit because our brain's not too fast. I mean, so we'll slow it the way it's going across. And this is one way, by adding a delay of 3/100ths of a second. So if you have a second, and you can divide it in 100 seconds and divide it up into 100 segments, and then 3 of those is how long it takes for our brain to figure it out. 3/100ths of a second. So let's see what that looks like. As you can see that I have let's see. I have it right here. Okay, so we'll run it. Let's see, reset and run. Now you'll see a lot of stars. The reason you see a lot of stars is because we don't have something to cover up the star before. So all you have to do is, put an image that every time you loop around will block out the star previously. So the way you do that is that I'm going to see the background that I chose now. I chose that down here, like when you add a robot. But the rest of the time, I need to refresh the background to cover the star before. You get that? So I'm going to go to this background and put it here, right? And then I'm going to tell it to put the same image that I got right now in the background. And it'll keep replacing that every time the star comes up, then we'll cover up the one before. So I'm going to scroll down to try to pick out that same. It's at the bottom, and it's kind of slow, but we'll get there. And this is it right here. See it? And then I close, and sure enough, it says background. Okay. So now reset and run. There. Wait, it's a different background, isn't it? Yeah, hold on a second. I got the wrong background.
Rodriguez, can I share
Sorry, what?
my image?
Yeah, hold on one second. Let me just get this background, and I'll share it. I got the wrong background. I want it to be the same as the initial background, that's all. That would be this guy, right? Yeah. Okay, now let me run it. And you'll see that you'll look like just one star. Okay, I'll stop sharing. All right, go ahead.
You can see it.
Yep. Oh, I can't see it. Oh, there it is. It's a little car at the bottom, huh? What happened to the hubcap that you have in the front tire?
I think I put code wrong.
Hit run, and I mean hit run. Okay, now okay, hit reset. Okay, now hit step. Step. Yeah. Oh, you have to hit reset again. Now hit step. And again. Oh, what happens? There we go. Okay, and again. And again, let me see where that tire comes in. Okay. Yeah, there's one. And there's
Oh,
right there. You need to move it over a little bit. The second circle.
mhm.
Maybe if you put 8 instead of 6, I don't know. Let's try that. Oh, you got the diameter the same. Look, don't you want the diameter to be less? How do you have the diameter of the two circles the same? Isn't one inside the other? I don't get it.
It is.
Oh, I see you got two diameters.
Wanted
Well,
to.
yeah, I think one of them has to be smaller than the other. I don't quite understand the order you got them in. So it hits the first circle, and that gives you two circles with the radius 1. I don't think that's right. It should be one should have a radius of 1, and the other should be a half. And then the other one should be 1.5. Like, I think on the, you see the circles, the second circles you have, the second circle, yeah, make that a half. Let's see what happens. I don't know, 0.5. And do the same, oh, you're, and then set the other circle to 1. Down, yeah. All right, let's try that. Weird, it didn't appear at all. Huh. Oh, there we go. How'd you do that?
I put a 1 and 1 and 0.5, 0.5.
I wonder why that works. Oh well.
Already tried it like that. But they make me wrong too. And I put it like that.
All right, so that was Alan, right?
Yeah.
Let's go back here. Oops. So, no. Good. Anybody else? It's not too bad. Let's go back over here. So I moved the star over, like, and then I had that background image. So I'm going from minus 12, which is a very last spot on the x-axis, over to 24. Now here's something you can do that's curious. I mean, you can make a copy of the whole thing, for example, and make a complete other loop like this so that you have 2 loops, right? Let's see. Now I'm going to reverse the order because now the star supposedly is on the right. So I'll put 24 and then go back to minus 12, one step at a time. So now it should do full, like there and back. Oh, it's like that. Wait, just show you how easy it is to go back. And if you're clever, you can say, well, I'll go to loop and I'll tell it with the simple loop to loop through both of those. Excuse me, 4 complete cycles. And there and back cycles. So there it goes. That's considered 1. That's considered 2. That's considered 3. And finally, we'll come to our 4th, and it stops. Okay. Or you don't have to do that. Only one of these is, you know, suppose you didn't want to use an image, you know, so, I mean, that star. So let me take this out. So now I just have the star going one direction, right? Okay, now I can get rid of the star. Put my delay back in. Now suppose, you know, you wanted to use an image. Well, then just go here where it says image. Right, and then you're going to put the image like here, the dog, and we'll put it right here. Let's say right here, stroke width, the width, and I really don't need a stroke anymore. Come to think of it, right? Because it's an image. I don't need any of those. Remember, you'll need the background though, so that it erases the previous whatever you want. So now we're going to go from -12. No, there, I'm going from -12 to 24, right? And so let's pick an image for the dog. Let's see, I like dogs. Do we have dog around here? Here, we use that dog. Okay, so now I'm going to be, it's asking for, so now I go here and it says dog 2, right? And I have it the center of the dog. So the center of the dog, I want it at -12, right? I'm going to start right there anyway. And then I want it to go over to, you know, at 0. That's the point where I want it to start. Now you can see right now, this dog is not going to move because there's nothing to keep the counter moving from -12. It'd just be fixed. See it? It's not moving because there's nothing to tell it how to move to the next step. So watch this. If you take the last, and we know that this I starts at -12. So that's cool because I'll take that -12 out and replace it with this variable. Now I will change with this I. So the dog will be at -12, right? And it'll go through and then it'll add 1 to -12. So the X now will advance to -11. And it'll start advancing by steps of 1 all the way, 36 steps from -12 to 24. And now we can reset and we can run it. Right? And so there you have it. I'm gonna reset. This is all you need for the homework. If you want, you can slow it down more, or you can add more images. Like if I go from -12, right? -12 from here over to 0 is 12 steps. And from 0 to 24 is 24 more steps. So you have to add the 24 and the 12, right? That's your 36. And now what if I do it at half steps? Well, now I'm taking half the steps, takes me 2 steps to go 1 step, what I used to do. So everything doubles. So really what we're doing now is going to be 72 pictures. And then this background here will erase it off the one before. And since it's identical to the background I got, you don't notice it. So watch, now it's going to be like slower motion. See? Wait, I don't need a fill color, do I? Now it's even easier. You can do this. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. Okay. And if you want to be fancy, you want to get the dog back, have him go in reverse. Just change the order here because it's over on 24 now and you want it to go back to -12. All right. And if you want to get real fancy, you tell it how many times you want it go back and forth by using a simple loop. But we just tell it do it 3 times back and forth. Back and forth is considered one. Any questions? This is more than you need right now, but I'm building up these little assignments, right? So you can use it for your bigger project. This is a good chunk of it. All right. Any questions about that? So let's take a look at another part of the chunk of what you might be able to use for your project. So let's go over here and I'll go to curriculum, let's say. And let's take a look at this project here. The one with the fish. Okay, so I'm going to do this one here, right? So what I'm interested in is that, see how you make that eyeball blink? Let's go through that, see if we can figure out what's going on here. Okay, so now it's loading in and there, see how it stops, blinks, and then lets out gas. And notice how the gas bubble grows as it goes up. That's pretty fancy. Then it's turned, so like that. But we'll work our way through this, right? And use as many things as you can to just complete your project. So we got this now. Now they're making it like they're asking us to fill this thing in for the triangle. So so that's really the tail of it. And so we can try to figure that out. So let's work on our own thing here. I'm going to go from -20 and then they're going to -20 to 7. So -20, you look over here, it's -12. The reason it's kind of weird is because -12, as you can see here, right? So when it's starting at -20, it's starting way off screen. What we call this the stage. So it's starting way out at -20. So in order to figure out, okay, that's where it wants to start at -20, but Keiko is going to -20 to 7. So well, 7 gets you to here, right? 7's right here on the x-axis. All right, so this is 6, so 7 must be here, see it? But right now, I'm just going to go from here to here. And what happens at this point, I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to do my blink animation and my gas animation. And when that's done, then I'll finish off the fish going from 7 all the way over to 24. So we're just working on that bit of it. And so let's work on it. Let me start over. I can move this out of the way. Let's see, I don't need this guy, do I? This guy either, so I'll bring this guy over here. Okay, now, so let's get rid of everything, start over. And this is how, like, you would do the project. So yeah, I'm gonna start over, okay? So now I'm saying, well, I want an ellipse. So let's suppose you really actually want to start so that the ellipse is forming off stage. All right, so what I'm going to go back, but right now I'm going to go to 96, 96 so that I have -20 in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take ellipse and I want to go to, let's say, this is -24. And this is -12, right? But when I want to work this off screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an ellipse. So I go to do an ellipse, let's say right here. And I just want to put it in place. Okay, so I'll go over here. And now I'm going to have the ellipse start at, let's say, -20. The X guy, and the Y guy is going to be 0. How wide do I want it? I don't need it very wide. Let's say if I got it 8. And no, maybe I'll do that 4. Let me call this 8, see if it's, I don't know, reasonable. Okay, and run it. Okay, so I got it the wrong way. I want the width to be 8, and the height to be 4. Right, and since it's kind of like a goldfish, you're going to want to, give it a color. I can do a fill color, right? We can do the fill color, and we can do it at orange. Let's say here, right? Let's take a look. Okay, and then I don't really worry about the stroke line because it's solid. So I'm going to put, just so that you don't get that red line, I'll put it no stroke. Okay, and then I go like this. There it is. Okay. So now remember that's starting at -20, 0, which should be in the middle. Because this is, if you look at these things, these goes up units of 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, 3 units of 3. So I got -24 here, and so that's -21, and so a little bit right here about the middle. -20 is it. Now, this is not going to move, it's just fixed, right? It's just fixed. So in order to make that thing move, remember I want it to move all the way over to, was it 7? So in order to make anything move, or at least as far as I know, we need a counter. And we put it where we need it the most. I'm going to put it right here. Then I'll take this guy and put it here. Okay. And now I want I to go from -20, which is where we're starting the ellipse, right? X is -20. And I want it to go all the way over to 7 by steps of 1. All right. So if I do that, then that my ellipse should move from -20 over to, now notice how's my ellipse going to move? It's just static. It's not even going to move with a counter. So I'm going to take my X value at -20 out. Keep in mind that I is starting at -20. Then I go to my variable and I take this I. Now look what happens. My X guy will move with this counter. It'll move -20. Then it'll add 1. That'll be -19. And every time it's looping through, it's adding 1. So you're going to take what? From -20 to 0 is 20 steps. And from 0 to 7 is 7 more steps. That's 27 images. So if I run it now, we should see 27 ellipses advancing forward. And it'll look like this. See, that looks like a big, like one stretched out ellipse. The reason for it is because we have to cover up the ellipse previous. So what we do is we put a background in. Okay, so right in here. That'll cover up the previous one. And I'm going to have it the same background that I got now. Now that first background, I put it in where you add robots. That was the first background that's there. But not thereafter. So I'm looking for this coral stuff so that I can make it my background. And every time it'll refresh the background and cover up, the ellipse previous. So let's go here. And then is it this one here? This one here. See it? And close. Okay, now watch happens. Now it'll slow it down to this. And then, okay. And so that our brains can catch it, we'll slow it down a little bit. So we'll put a delay of 3/100ths of a second. Now it should go a little more smooth. Okay. Now notice that I'm in a bigger picture than I want, but I'm working off stage. So I had to come to this scale. I'll go back to the other scale. But when I go start over, reset, and then I step through it, right? Okay, and then what I want to do is, at this point, let me get my ellipse. Okay, you see the ellipse. So what I want to do now is add a tail. So I'll do that by bringing in a triangle. So now I'm going to put a triangle. And I can put it before or after the ellipse. I'll put it before, let's say here. Okay, now where do I want that triangle to go? Well, I want it to go something like this, where I want this to be here. For example, let's go from here. And then I want to go up, let's say, to here. I don't know, let's say to here. We'll go to here. And then we'll go to here. There's a triangle. So let's take a look at what this point is right here. This guy right here is, this is minus 36. So if we go back, each box is worth 3. So this is going to be minus 30, comma 0. That's where that triangle we want. So I'm going to go over here and say, okay, triangle. I want it to start at, oh, well, I want it to start at minus 30, right? And 0. And the other point is the one up here now. Actually, probably that's not right in the middle, so I'll center it over here instead. Let me use black. So I'll put this spot's okay. But I'll move this guy maybe halfway to here. Yeah, and then I'll do this guy. So I know that this is minus 24, and they go up by I mean, it's going to go more negative by units of 3. So this would be minus 27. So I need to be in between. So I need to be between minus 24 and minus 27. So let's type minus 26, let's say, roughly. So on this second guy, I'll put minus 26. And the Y guy is up a unit, 3 units. Okay, and now my third point's in here. Well, I know what that is. That's at minus 24. Right? Minus 24 and 0. So, but it's static. It's not moving because I don't have anything moving with I, but let's see what it looks like. See if we got our tail here. I'll run. Yeah. Well, maybe it should have been over here. So let me try minus 27 on the second point. So reset and then step. Okay, triangle, and then, oh, that's not what I want. Oh, that's why it didn't work. So I want that to be minus 26. Minus 26. I'll go back to that. Now I need this spot here. It's not minus 24, is it? Minus 24 is up here. So actually it's minus 21. Okay, let's try it now. Step, 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 step. There it is. So 21, so it's more like, let me try 20 and a half. All right, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, you can see it's not moving with the tail's not moving because I don't have any eyes to tell it to move along. And you know, my Y guys will always stay the same because I'm moving horizontally. So let's try it again. Reset, step, 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 there, step. Okay. So that looks better. And watch what now. Well, how do I get this I to move? So look what happens. I'm going to take my minus 30. Okay. I'm bring it out here. Remember, my I is starting at minus 20, but minus 30 is more negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this math guy. I'm going to take this guy. Put in here. I'm going to take this guy out. And then I'm going to put the index I. So I'm going to my variable. And I'm going to put I. So now think of it like this. Right now, I is equal to minus 12. What do I have to add to minus 20? What do I have to add to minus 20 to make it minus 30? That's the question. So it's already negative, right? So if I can either subtract 10 more, right? So I could say, okay, I want to subtract 10 more. guess what? Minus 20 plus, I mean, minus 10 is minus 30. See how I got back to 30? I is equal to minus 20. And if you subtract another 10, you're in the hole even further to minus 20. That's how I did it. Now I got to go to my X guy, but I need it to be 26, not minus 30. So I make a copy of this guy, right? And I put him right here. Okay, now, what do I have to add to minus 20 to get minus 26? Well, I could subtract another 6. 20 minus 20 minus 6 is further in the hole to minus 26. Got rid of that. So now I can change this. Now I want minus 20 and a half. So I make a copy of this, duplicate, and I say to myself, what do I have to add to minus 20 to get minus 20 and a half? Well, I just have to subtract another half. So now I'm going to subtract 0.5. See? So that now will get me back to my, there, I got back to my initial points. But now I have i's for every x. So now it should move together. There it goes. See? And now I'm going to get back to the scale that I want to, so that, see, I couldn't get to the background in the original scale, but I had to zoom out. So let me clear this out. All right. And now we go, now I'm going to go back to, I think it was 36 by 36. Okay, and I'll reset. There, it stops, okay? And that's, at that point, we're going to start the blinking software. Yeah, well, we need to put eyeballs in there. But it's not too bad, because once we got the eyeballs in there, then we're going to have to try to make it blink. What time do we get out of class today?
At 10, I think.
At 10? You mean class is over? Let's see, hold on.
10.
Okay, 10:10, good. So let me go back over here, and I was back on here. Okay, now you see when I reset, you won't see where it starts because I'm starting way back in minus 20. So the whole movie production is starting off screen. So I'll go here and reset. Let's see. Okay, now watch, I'm stepping, but you're not going to see anything for a while. Then I'm going to loop around again, and it refreshes with the background and keep going because it's moving forward, but it's off stage, which is okay because you can do all the work there. So I have to go, I don't know how many times before it starts to show up over here. There, see it? And it gets replaced with the background. That's why it disappears, because that background in the loop covers it up. So you can just reset. What happened there? There you go. Okay, now it's a matter of just, you know, now we can say, okay, we can put an eyeball on it. And then a pupil. Huh. That's kind of late activity. All right. So I'll start with this tomorrow, or I won't be here tomorrow, but I think they have a substitute that'll be showing this stuff. I'll have it like an electric recorder. So see if you can do your homework that one, and then we start with your project. Right next, I'll be teaching the blinking part and letting the gas go. And then after that, I think if you use all that together with any kind of project you want, it'll be good. All right. Have a nice life if there are no questions. All right, you go to lunch from here, right? You don't need hosting, right?
Oh, we have to wait for Miss Anne Marie.
Oh, she's coming?
Yeah,
All right. Let's see. Who are you? Miriam?
Miriam. Yeah.
Let me make you a host then. Okay. All right. Have a nice day, students.